Hello, welcome to more yoga with me, Emily. Hope you are all doing well. It's still sunny out. Maybe you get to practice outside, with headphones on or something like that. Maybe you're inside and that's okay, wherever you need to be. At least you are where you are. And that was a very weird sounding sentence. It's very kind of yoga, esoteric thing. It's all good. I thought today we would work through the sun salutation. So break it down a little bit for those of you who are less familiar with the sun salutation or something that we call the flow in yoga or a vinyasa. What else is it called? Mostly those three words. As always, useful to have a couple blocks or books or tins, something that can bring the floor up to you, and maybe something squishy for your knees, for a little bit of cushioning, whatever feels better for you. Also, completely unnecessary to use any of them. I like them or to have them for my own practice, but that's just me. Okay, so find a tall seat. We'll draw belly button to spine. Shake out the shoulders. You can be cross-legged. You could be sitting on your shins. You could have your legs outstretched. You might sit up on a block to help release the hips a little bit. And for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh the breath away. Couple more. And then continue breathing however you need to. It could be in and out through your nose or maybe your mouth. And there's nothing here to fix or change. Just simply observe the breath. And you may notice thoughts starting to creep by or creep into your mind. That's totally normal. Acknowledge them without judgment, but try to let them go. One of the analogies I really like using is it's as if you're in a shower, right? And there's this constant stream of thoughts or water, and it's almost like taking your head out of the stream of water. Right? So it's still, the thoughts are still there, the shower's still on, but you're no longer engaging with it. You're no longer attached. It's like background noise. Or standing on a bridge over a raging stream. Last few breaths. And gently flicker your eyelids open. Welcome back. Okay, let's meet on hands and knees. Not traditionally a part of the sun salutation, although hands and knees is a really great transition when you're coming from the floor up to downward facing dog. You might have blocks or something at the top edge of your mat. I'm going to bring mine here. Little wiggle, little shake, little cat and cow. Inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, wrap the shoulder blades toward each other. And exhale, round. Really press your spine up to the sky. And then inhale, slowly ripple. And exhale, round. And you might take a little wag from side to side. Barrel rolls through your chest. Oh, you might snake toward the floor. Just doing whatever feels good here for your body. Last couple breaths. Okay. We'll slowly come back to center. Little draw of belly button to spine. Check in with your hands. This is the most important part, probably, of the flow, at least in my mind, is that your hands are outer shoulder width apart or wider. So I'm talking outer edge of the shoulder line with the middle of the wrist, and then you want the V of your pointer fingers also pointing to the middle of the wrist so that your hands aren't too far turned in, they're not too far turned out. you get a little bit of external rotation at the shoulder. It becomes a very strong position, but also gives you lots of space so that you don't impinge that shoulder joint. Because trust me, you can do that in yoga. Tuck the toes, little drop, belly button to spine. And on your exhale, lift the hips up, bend back, downward facing dog. Now you might need to adjust your stance. A lot of people, when they're beginning, take a really long down dog stance, and that's super hard. So go easier on yourself. Shorten a little bit, bend the knees. Take a little walk from side to side, pedal the heels. Especially if the calves feel tight, it can feel really nice to do something like this. Right. And then settling into the position a little bit more. Bend the knees so the belly is resting comfortably on the thighs. And then think of sending your sit bones back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Okay, so maintaining that length now through the spine and the arms. Maybe then you start to straighten the legs a little bit. And your legs might never get straight. The heels might never reach. Just depends on how it feels. And then can you think of wrapping the upper arm bones toward each other? This is activation through the upper body. Last couple breaths here. Head loose. And bend your knees, look forward. Take as many steps as you need to come into standing forward fold. You can sway, you can wiggle, you can bounce. I'd really like you to keep your knees at least micro bent. Right, the last thing you need to do is to hyperextend the knees back. I usually demo that, but I've learned my lesson. Right, it's not a good place for your joints, for your muscles, especially if your legs naturally hyperextend like mine do. You can clasp opposite elbows with hands, getting more traction through the spine. If the arms are crossed, take the opposite crossing. And then gently release your hands. Okay, we're going to come into Ardha Uttanasana. So halfway lift is what I usually call it, or a partway lift. Bring your fingertips to your shins and pause here. You really want to press your fingers into your shins to help lift the torso partway up. Right? Wrap the shoulder blades toward each other, belly button to spine, send the sit bones back, beam your heart forward. This is also a fantastic place maybe to bring hands to blocks instead. For some of you, maybe it's fingertips on the floor, but you don't want to round through the spine. Right? As soon as I see this, you're not getting the activation that you want. Exhale, release. Okay, let's try a couple more of those. Inhale, lift up, partway, finding length through the spine. If you have a mirror, it's a good place to use one. Last breath. And then exhale, release. Bend your knees, tuck your chin in toward your chest slowly. Start to roll up to standing. One vertebra at a time. Little wrap of the shoulders up, back, and down. Little wiggle or shake out. And then we come up to Tadasana, which is usually where we start the sun salutation. It's all good. Little drop, belly button to spine. Feel a hug of the legs toward each other. Tailbone to the earth without tucking it under. You just don't want it lifted up, right? So neutral spine. Wrap the shoulder blades onto the back. On your inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. You might follow with your gaze. As you exhale, dive or fold down to the earth. Forward fold. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Plant your hands flat. So bend your knees enough that the hands can get flat to the floor so you have that support. And then step back to plank. So the top of a push-up. You might be on your toes. You might be on your knees, wherever you need to be. But a couple breaths here. Really press the floor away from you. I'd rather see a little bit of protraction here of the shoulder blades than dipping down. Belly button to spine. Squeeze the tops of the thighs. Squeeze the bum. It's really, really strong. Last 3, 2, 1. You can always come down to your knees first. As you exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Little wiggle of the hips from side to side. Untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet into the earth, so much so that you feel your kneecaps lift away from the floor. Send your tailbone to the back wall, feel your belly button engaged toward your spine, wrap your shoulders away from your back. Now, I've been lifting my head this whole time, but you should have yours long. And as you inhale, lift the chest, the heart forward and up, baby cobra, without lifting the chin. So back, the neck stays long. Exhale, lower back down. A few more of these, and you can play with it. Right, maybe you think of dragging yourself through. Maybe the hands hover. They could come out onto the wood. Some of you I know will press up even higher into a deeper variation of cobra. Right, wherever you need to go. Last few, inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Maybe take a little bit of movement here. And the next time that you come back down, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders or by your low ribs. Tuck your toes. As you exhale, we're going to come back to downward facing dog. There are a few ways to do that. One is to press all the way up through a push-up. One is to come up through hands and knees. And then lift. Right. So you have a few different ways to come up. I usually walk my feet in and shorten my stance again, especially once I've come from all the way down on the floor. Couple breaths here. Hug the upper arm bones toward each other. Bend your knees. Look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of the mat. Standing forward fold. Fingertips to shins. Inhale, lift up part way. Exhale, fold. Charge your legs. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Okay, let's go through it. One breath per movement. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift, finding length through the spine. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Inhale, step back, high plank or low plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway to the earth. Inhale through baby cobra. Some of you might go up to upward facing dog. We'll get to that in a sec. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of the mat. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Inhale, step back, high plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of the mat. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, right back down to the earth. One last round. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Inhale, walk, step, or hop back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway. Inhale through the back bend. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. One breath here. Bend your knees, look forward. Walk, step, or hop to the top edge. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. This time, exhale, hands to prayer, and pause here. Couple deep breaths. Maybe the hands are resting by your side. Eyes open or closed. Feel what you feel. Notice what you notice. Little wiggle, little shake up. So, now that hopefully you're feeling warm, let me talk you through upward facing dog, because it's a pretty different posture than baby cobra. Okay, it's still about using the back line of a body, but there's a lot more pressing. But the thing is, you don't want to get into the lower back. So come down to the belly, or just watch for a few breaths, right? Pressing the tops of the toes on the floor. So first option, we have baby cobra, right? Really active, back of the neck long. Second option, again, some of you might press up into more of a full cobra, really squeezing the butt so that that lower back doesn't get cranked. Or some halfway, right? You just don't want the shoulders up by the ears. Now, upward facing dog is a very, very active posture. And for some of us, it's made easier by the length of our arms to the torso. Right? So wrap the shoulder blades toward each other. Inhale, lift a little bit, really pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. And this is where it feels a little bit funny because you will be pressing up and then lifting the hips up. Sorry, I have to adjust my stance. So the hips are up off the floor. You're not dipping, right? You're really pressing the floor away. You're squeezing the butt like crazy. And then downward facing dog, you roll over the tops of the toes. So that's upward facing dog. Now some people don't have maybe as much lift through the arms. So blocks can be really handy. Or books or whatever you might have. You can have them on the highest or the lowest setting. Probably lowest is going to give you the most stability though. And then same activation. Wrap the shoulder blades toward each other. Start to press yourself up. Right? And then you get that lift without maybe necessarily feeling as much strain. Whew! That's a lot to talk through. Okay, let's meet back in Tadasana, top edge of your mat. Couple breaths here. We're going to add on a little bit to the sun salutation, to the flow. Belly bend to spine. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Now here's the change. Inhale, step the right leg back. Your back knee can be up or down. As you inhale, come up for lunge. One breath. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, step back, plank. Exhale, lower all the way or part way. Inhale through baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step right foot to thumb. Inhale, come up, lunge. Exhale, release. Inhale, step to the top edge of the mat. Exhale, let go. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Opposite side. Inhale to the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left leg back. Back knee can be up or down. Inhale, lift up, lunge, one breath. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, plank. Exhale, lower all the way or part way. Inhale through your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, step left foot to thumb. Back knee up or down. Inhale up for lunge. Exhale, release. Inhale, step to the top edge of the mat. Exhale, let go. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer and pause. Couple breaths here, either at prayer or by your side. Now there are multiple variations of sun salutation, whether you come from the Ashtanga school or from a different school of yoga. We're going to do one more variation. I'm not even going to name it because I might get that wrong. But one last variation. Okay, heel until your feet's together. Big toe mounds touching. There can be a little space between your heels though. Belly bend to spine. So your knees or your legs might be shaped like mine, where they can't really be straight here with the toes touching. That's fine. We're not going to be here long. Inhale the arms high. Exhale, sit into chair pose. So hips back, tailbone down, belly bend to spine, lift through the heart. Use those big inner thigh muscles. Hug the legs toward each other like crazy. Last couple of breaths here. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway. Inhale through the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of the mat. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, full. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer. Bring the feet touching if they aren't already there. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, chair pose. Couple breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, plant your hands. Step back, plank. Exhale, lower all the way or partway. Inhale, baby cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And bend your knees, look forward. Come to the top edge of the mat. Inhale, lift up partway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to prayer and pause. A few breaths here. Eyes open or closed. Heart rate's probably really high. Well, maybe not really high, but higher than normal. Breath slow and sweet. Good. Flicker your eyelids open. Come back down to the mat. Doesn't matter how you transition. And let's rest in child's pose. So your knees can be wide as the mat, toes together at the back edge of the mat. Send your hips back and torso comes to the floor. You can always stack your hands underneath your forehead. Or chicken wing the arms by your shoulders. Maybe some of you have the knees together. Getting into the lower back, you can wrap your arms around behind you. And a few breaths in child's pose, whatever variation of it you need. Slow the breath down. And then from child's pose, maybe you stay there for a few more minutes. Maybe you slither forward onto your belly or roll onto your back or come up to a seated position, wherever you need to go. For your rest. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that has demystified the sun salutation or the flow at least a little bit. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.